Hello everyone, welcome to The Beat, a news and talk program brought to you by the Center for Community Media at Worcester State University. I'm your host, Jacob Zandi. Joining us today in the studio is Mauro DePasquale, Executive Director of WCCA-TV. Thank you for joining us today, Mauro.
Hey, my pleasure. Good to meet you, Jake.
Good to meet you too. So I'm going to go through some questions here, and if you
Sure.
could just answer them to the best of your ability for the viewers, that would be
I'll
great.
try my best.
All right, well here we go. In your own words, can you explain what community media is and its importance?
That's a great question. Well, I can tell you what WCCA-TV stands for. We're Worcester's community media station. And we stand as an institution for media literacy, media democracy, and creative innovation. It's a place where people can come together to share their story, no matter what background they have or where they're from. It's a free speech platform. And what that means is, at a place like WCCA-TV or public access television, whatever story you tell, whatever information, news, and opinions you have to share is free from corporate retribution or political whim. So it's a free speech platform. I can't stress that enough, and that's what pleases me so much about the station. And as a nonprofit community media center, we work to empower people by giving them the tools and the means to do that. So it's not just about having a TV station. It's about being able to use that station, to use the cameras, the editing facilities, the studio, and also to access the various networks that we distribute our message on, which ranges from cable television to satellite to internet. It's wherever people can pick up our signal, they can watch it and share their stories.
Wow, that's great. So anyone can just utilize that?
Anyone can utilize it, and we have thousands of free on-demand videos, over 6,000 videos up on our website. We're streaming live every day. We're on the air 24/7, and anyone can access it. Anyone can participate and create any kind of show they want. And it's not a matter of, are we going to sell, are we going to buy an audience? Traditional television, commercial television is about, the main purpose is to create an audience so they can sell things. And our purpose is totally the flip of that. It's to provide people with an opportunity to share their voice, their experience. It's about empowerment, it's about participatory media, and it's about inclusiveness.
Wow, it's very, very good to have, having something like that.
It's profound, isn't it?
It's great,
Most people aren't aware of that, and that's the challenge we've had, is really getting people to understand that. Right. And the nature of the business, the industry, is very prohibitive on how we're able to promote that and educate the community about that, because we're not given the same exact, let's say, canvas to paint on. Everything we do is we have to fight to be high def. We have to fight the battle to get funding. And of course, without funding, without an act of Congress to ensure that there's public access television, that type of medium would not exist.
Right. And so it's up to people like you to keep
that
alive.
It's definitely not sustainable, but it's important.
Right. Well, I'm going to go to the next question. Can you explain what the Chief of Operations or Executive Director of a community access station does?
Yeah, well, it varies from one station to another. There are many, many public access stations. I serve as a chief operations officer and executive director, so I handle everything from corporate business, corporate enterprises, and I work closely with my board of directors. And I also I have to manage my staff, and I set the tone for how our organization moves forward. So I'm involved with everything from building the studio from scratch, which I did in 1998, to training our staff, making sure we have the right tools and technology to handle our mission, to meet the mission. I set the vision and recommend the vision for our board to accept. And so we set the vision, and we go from there, get the equipment we need to make sure people are trained to use it. When people learn to first read and write, the ones doing the writing had all the power. So it took people a while. When the printing press came out, they distributed many messages. But now what we do is we take that printing press and we teach people how to use it. The printing press is different now, though. It's digital, right?
Yeah, the digital age.
So we teach you how to use it, and we teach you how to critically also view it as well. So it's about media literacy, how to access those tools, how to use the tools, and how to participate in the world that we see. Today is so video reliant. Everything, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, how many videos you're watching, right? Somebody's got to produce that, and somebody's going to participate, and someone has to know what's real and what's not.
Right.
And that's our role.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's very important. Make
Yeah.
sure that people are, perceiving this information, in the right way. And
Exactly.
So it's.
Yeah.
But as an executive director for WCCA-TV, what have been some of the most successful programs that have aired on the public access station, and what factors led to their success?
That's a really good question too, because it's hard for us to evaluate community media. I can tell you this: the most successful, we can judge it by the basis of participation, and we get a lot of people that participate. We developed a programming style called easy access programming, and what that meant was, okay, we give people, I'll backstep a little bit. You take a studio like this, people can participate, they can learn to use the cameras, they can volunteer, they can become interns, they can do, maybe they work for a company and they want to share their information. So they'll learn to use the station. They'll learn how to use the tools and the trade. They'll have to take time to do that. It takes time. And then they have to make time to schedule their guest and be on TV and book the studio for an hour or a day or whatever, right? So we developed, and that's fine, we do a lot of that. But we also developed a turnkey production so that someone who doesn't have that kind of time can just come in and schedule their day. You can schedule an hour to come into the station and sit down, and basically they're ready to go. They have their script and their guest, but they're ready to go. So we have a show called, for example, one of those turnkey shows is called Soapbox, and that's very popular. We have, I think, over almost 3,000 shows right now that we've done over the years. And people come on. It could be all walks of life, from municipal leadership to authors, poets, musicians, social services, churches, nonprofits, all kinds of different organizations come in and they tell their story, and they just basically come in, sit down, and they're on the air. And so that's one of the more popular program formats. We have a lot of great shows, and some shows you get a lot of hits from. I have a show that's an antique show, and we get people from all over the world that write in about that because they see antiques. It catches their interest. We did another program about anti-fluoride, and people from all over the world chimed in, because they were supporting that kind of program. So we get a lot of great shows, and it doesn't matter if 1 million people watch a show or one person watches a show. Don't forget, in our point of view, it's flipped around. So what matters to us is, do you want to tell your story? If you're telling your story and only one person out there cares, we're a success.
Yeah, right. At least you're reaching somebody,
Right. We're giving you that chance to be there, and you're there just the same as anyone else in the spectrum. And by the way, we produce more local programming than any other channel in the whole lineup on cable.
Wow.
So, so we're reaching that whole spectrum of people, all different languages and ethnicities.
That's great. I mean,
Yeah.
you're really getting the word out there, getting people to come in and participate. Honestly, I didn't know you could just go in and pick a time slot.
Right. Well, it is that. It's pretty much that easy. I mean, we are membership driven, so people do have to, abide by rules and policies like anything else, because it's like, there's expensive equipment here.
Yeah,
so,
you don't want people coming in.
You become a member,
something.
and that's what your membership gets you.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep.
You have been recognized for numerous awards, such as the Community Action Hero Award, the Alliance for Community Media's Chuck Sherwood Award. Can you describe some of the specific projects or programs that led to these recognitions?
Well, some of those awards are community-based for my work as an advocate for community, and the Chuck Sherwood is an award, more of a kind of like an industry standard kind of award for what we do at the station, and it involves the output and the management, and also the level of training that we do. We did get some recognition for our training. We have youth camps and stuff like that, summer programs that we teach youth, and we work a lot with interns even from Worcester State University as well, and from all the different colleges. So those, I think your question was, how did I get those?
Yeah, I mean,
what programming contributed to that? That's a good question, because my job involves the community. If community isn't at my station, I'm not doing my job.
Right.
So I really feel that I received those, and I'm humbly grateful for those awards, but I feel like I received them because I'm focused on my job.
Right.
I do my job. I speak truthfully, and it's not always easy to speak the truth. Sometimes you have to let people know the truth, and it's not always the politically correct thing to say. People, I think, though, appreciate it. and they appreciate the fact that, okay, here's a guy that's honest, he's telling like it is, and I'm going to fight for people's rights to be, participate in media,
Right. Yeah, you're there
give
for the
them
people,
the power, right.
that's what
And
people
not
do.
everybody wants to hear that,
Yeah, right.
And so sometimes, you do enough of that, people recognize that, and it's nice to see that they appreciate it. And that's the way in our communities we show appreciation for things like that. That if there's advocacy, it's for a good cause, and WCCA is there for everybody, whether you're a college student or a business that's thriving or a homeless person that just needs to share their story. I mean, we're there for that.
Right, and that's excellent. Being there for the community is always a bonus, and
Oh yeah.
it's good for everybody all around. Many of the volunteers and students working on behalf of the Center for Community Media are interested in working in television. What advice or tips can you give them for getting started in this field?
Well, the advice I would give them is, first of all, the same I would give my kids, my own family. Follow your passion. If you're passionate about something, that's a pretty good indicator that, maybe this whatever it is you're passionate about is for you. If it's animals, you want to be in that field with it's animals. If it's communications, what about communications that you're really passionate about? From my own experience, my passion has always been on the music side. So because I followed my passion in my music career, it led me into television. So I didn't expect it. It just kind of happened. So that's what I mean when I say follow your passion, because when you're doing that, it's going to place you in places where you're going to find like-minded people, or you're going to find applications for your talent that you enjoy. Hey, if you enjoy it, why not use it as a way to survive, for sustenance later on, right?
Yeah, why not?
So, I mean, that's my number one advice. And public access is a great place. You're taking a class like this here at Worcester State University, which is outstanding. But to follow up with that, get involved in any real-world applications that you can. If it's interning at a TV station or public access TV, then that's where you want to, if you're passionate about it, get involved, do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Produce your own shows, get the experience from all levels of production.
Right, like the more you're out there, the better. I mean, if you want to get into these things and really use your talent, it's great.
Right. Well, television media is great because it puts you in contact with everybody.
Right.
You can be, as I mentioned earlier, even with the shows we do, you could be talking to the mayor 1 minute, you could be talking to a punk rocker the next minute, or a rapper, and you could be talking to, a doctor the next minute. So you're always meeting new people, new experiences.
Networking.
And it's a team effort. If you're not a team player, you might want to find some other field to go, because television, any of the creative arts like this, where it's a team, film, it takes a team to do it. You have to work with photographers, videographers, set designers, poets, writers, music people. So it really takes a lot of different people.
Right. And going back to the musician in you, so you're a successful musician. Can you discuss the ways in which you have integrated music into your television?
Yeah. Well, right now, music is like therapy for me. So, I have my own jazz trio, and I play out a lot. It's almost a full-time job. So, but I really love that too, and that was my first passion. I did fall in love with the station too, by the way, and that's why I still do it after over 30 years. But I've integrated it in a lot of ways. I mean, if I use music, first of all, as we talked about this before the show, before the cameras were running, music is a form of communication. Art is a communication. It transcends language. So you can speak the language of art, if you will, to anybody, and they'll get it. You play music, they're going to know if it's sad or happy, right? If you do some artwork, it's going to motivate somebody the same way, whether they speak, Spanish or some other Chinese, right? Exactly. So first, that has to be said first. I've integrated it, and that's one of the things I love about the work I do, because I still get to play. Yeah. I still get to make a music bed for this particular show. They need an opening, so all right, or I'll get other musicians to do it, and they'll have fun doing that. So we've integrated music a lot that way. I produce, WCCA-TV produces actually 3 different music shows. One's called Band Edge, which we have live bands come down and perform. Another one is called Video Jam, which works with independent artists from all over the country. And we have another show that goes out into the field and shoots different shows. and we're doing partnerships with radio stations that feature live music as well. So all of that gets me involved with the music environment, the music community, and we're making sure everyone is working together and have an opportunity to really cross-pollinate and cross-promote.
Wow, so it seems like the creativity is really thriving, especially bringing music
Yeah,
into it.
there's a lot of opportunities with that. People are not always thinking of that.
Yeah. That's excellent. That's really cool. So, new media is drastically changing. How is community television being affected by these changes?
I think it's an opportunity. The change in things are moving more towards, like, it's a platform. When I started, cable was the new broadband. All right. Now it's the internet and that whole thing. So it's really, first of all, that change fundamentally doesn't really mean much for us in television, because whether it's cable or whether it's wireless, it's just a mode of transmission. It's just a platform that we're being carried on. There's some immediacy to that, though, that we can take advantage of. So in some respects, it's worked out really well. We're able to be live. Right now, we're live on Facebook. We're live at YouTube. We're live on our website. We're live on cable. So it opened up the door. Other internet outlets pick us up, like Roku and stuff like that. So we're out in different areas too. So see, I'm using my hands, right? They told you not to use the hands. Watch the hands. Hey, I got an Italian guy here. What am I going to do?
It's tough,
So we use a lot of different platforms. So it's an opportunity. It's a great opportunity, I think. And it also helps to promote in a different way. Because we're widecast, cable is more of a widecast. I don't want to say broadcast, because that's over the air. But we're widecast. If you're not widecast, if you're just looking on, say, just one of those outlets like Facebook, it's kind of like looking for the ocean one Dixie cup at a time.
Right.
You have to know what you're looking for. You have to kind of feel, okay, what am I looking for specifically? I got to search. So there's a little bit of a limitation there, but it's an opportunity in a different way, because now there are communities and different groups that are forming on these media sites that you can actually use to recruit new members or share, again, to share the story and share community media.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much easier nowadays, especially the digital age and being able to talk to people on Facebook.
Right.
To just, it's so much easier. So I can definitely see that. And this is kind of something you already covered, but I might as well ask it anyways. Can anyone start a show at WCCA-TV? What types of programs or workshops are offered for people to learn more about video production and television?
Well, we range from anything from studio orientations to advanced editing classes. So, we have a television production workshop. We have basic training, which we sort of give an overview to our studio and control room. We have a field camera course where you can learn field cameras and editing. Then we have more advanced editing, where you get more into FX and different kinds of techniques used in putting together a film, let's say. We have internship learning programs, and our vehicle for our internship is our weekly news magazine that they do. So they produce a whole weekly news show. They're out in the field doing reporting and writing stories, and then getting on. They have news readers and the whole bit like that. So those are learning opportunities, and they're vehicles that they learn on as well. And we do one-on-one training as well as classroom training at the station too. And we're actually going to be increasing what we do for training and workshops in the very near future. But first, we're making some space for that right now. We've got a plan to renovate our studio and to make larger classroom spaces.
Oh, excellent. I'll have to come down there and take some classes.
Yeah, definitely. People should come down here. And to answer your question, the process generally is, you want to take the basic course, because even if you have a background in TV, everyone's studio is slightly different.
Yeah, exactly.
And they have different equipment, and so you need to kind of acclimate yourself. Once you're acclimated with the studio, you really just start scheduling time and produce your show. We leave it into your hands. We just make sure that certain parameters are covered so that, we can meet the widest community need.
Oh, that's awesome. Take advantage of that, folks. If you want to go down there, go check out WCCA-TV. And it looks like that's all the time we got for
Sure,
today.
great place to start, WCCATV.com.
All right, sounds good. So you heard that, guys. So I just want to thank you for coming in again today.
My pleasure, a lot of fun. Good luck with everything. You guys got a wonderful studio. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for watching this segment of The Beat. Please remember to like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. We'll see you next time.